And so I've been with URI quite a while, and I'm really excited about the work that we do, and always excited to welcome new CCs into the organization as we continue to expand, sort of a consciousness expansion on the planet towards peace building. And that's been an area for me, having walked around the world for peace and walked across the country several times. Peace building has been a major part of my work, as well as interfaith. I don't think you can have one without the other. So thank you so much. And I am most excited to hear from you about the work that you're doing, and how we can bring that into the fold of the multi-region and URI. Okay?
Cool.
Thank you, Audrey. And who will follow? Who wants to introduce?
I can start. My name is Kehkashan. I'm the founder president of Green Hope Foundation. I'm based out of Toronto, but we work in 14 countries globally, which is why we wanted to be a part of the multi-region, since our work is so global. And we wanted to work with the URI because we saw the amazing work that all of you are doing, and how much the work that you do is like very much related to what we do as well, and we want to always work with more like-minded people and learn from you guys. So yeah, that is why we wanted to partner with you, and you're very much looking forward to that.
Thank you, Kishka. Laureen, or?
Sure. My name is Lauren. I met Kehkashan actually at school. We met at our environmental science course, and I joined the group from that. I'm going into my first year of Teachers College at Nipissing in North Bay next year, and so I'll be up north. I was in Toronto, but heading to a different school next year. And so I'm going to do everything I can to stay, to be very involved in the group from a bit of a distance. But, I've already done a small cleanup with some kids here over the summer. And I think we're also planning on doing another one maybe at the end of the summer. So we've been able to, even with a little bit of distance, we've been able to work together. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to do that.
And Audrey knows that the challenge of multi-region is that just working together at a distance, but the impact of the work so spread is also important.
Yes.
Anushka.
Hi, I am going into second year with Kehkashan. I'm in the same year as she is, and I just joined her this year. And I'm from India, so whatever work that she has been doing, I'm just trying to do whatever, like as much as I can in India. So like I had some beach cleanups in Pondicherry when I visited there, and over here I'm trying to have some workshops for kids in my school, like a school near me where I teach sometimes. And yeah, so that's kind of like I'm a new member. So, yeah.
And again, so I am Maria Crespo. I serve at the Global Support Office in URI from Buenos Aires, Argentina. So I know what is to be connected through computer all the time. I participate in many meetings through Zoom. It is just, I'm always on screen rather than working. And I must say, I repeat what I said at the very beginning. I am so amazed for what you shared in Accelerate Peace. The work that you are doing, I read the application. Bravo, bravo. The work is so much needed, and I am very happy and very honored to be sitting with you just on screen with the work that you are doing, and to learn about it a little bit more. As you have heard, and sorry, not everybody was in Accelerate, but appreciation is basic core URI value and has been there forever, since the very beginning, in this kind of providential thing that when Bishop Swing, the Bishop of San Francisco, was starting to plan URI, he met with David Copperrider, and he is a professor in Cleveland, Ohio, and he was developing this appreciative interview methodology. And so appreciative interviews and appreciative inquiry has been core to all sessions in URI. And at the very beginning in 1996 and 97 in Stanford, and it was part of the Accelerate piece. We had a little piece of it. But it has to do with a methodology, but it has to do with a value that we are here to appreciate each other and to support each other. And that's why we are creating the network. So if this is okay, I would give Audrey the mic just to start with these questions. And these questions are kind of basic, but it is not just question answer as if it was kind of an exam. It is just let us think together what brought us to this moment together and to this partnership that we are starting to build. And the more that we know from each other to build partnerships, the better. So,
perhaps a really good beginning for us is for you to just have a dialogue about how you learned about URI and wanted to be more involved with the work of the United Religions Initiative.
So I met Bishop Swing when I spoke at the Parliament of World Religions. We were on the same panel talking about nuclear disarmament. So that's how I met him, and I was absolutely amazed by the work that he is doing. And honestly, I think it's meant to be, because he literally invited me to be a part of Accelerate Peace right there and then. So yeah, that's how I got involved with URI. And then after I attended Accelerate Peace, I was absolutely blown away by all the amazing things that are being done by URI all over. So then I came back and I told Lauren, Anushka, and our other members about URI and that, like what it was and about how we wanted to be a part of what you guys do.
Okay, and so that's what facilitated your application process, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of answers the second part of that question, which is why has your group chosen to be a cooperation circle of URI? Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Can you please describe the interfaith membership? Let me see. Now bear with me a minute. I'm juggling two different screens here. So
sure.
Let me just get back to the question. Please describe the interfaith membership of your group and explain why this interfaith component would be an additional asset to your work. How do you see this being an asset to what you're trying to do, what you're already engaged in around the world?
I think because we work with people from literally all over the world, and almost all of us come from a different religion or a different belief. And our main goal is to promote how every single person can be a part of making a positive difference. And I think that, and even we've seen it at Green Hope with people, working with people from all over the world, we bring in different values, different cultures, different understandings. And when that comes together, we really create a very sustainable environment that allows us to understand each other, that allows us to work together and understand that while there might be differences in some cases in opinion, it's understandable, and that we're really united in our diversity. So when we work with children literally all over the world, and when we see how loving they are towards each other, regardless of race, religion, creed, doctrine, that is another way that helps us as well, because we've seen firsthand that is completely possible, and we definitely practice that at Green Hope.
Right.
And what about the membership? So in the application you said that you have 1,000 members.
Yeah.
These are people that that are impacted by the organization, people that already are the core workers in the organization? So how do you
Those 1,000
define
members, yeah.
those 1,000? Yeah.
So those 1,000 members are members of Green Hope. They work at the ground level, and a lot of them come from different beliefs and religions. I mean, right here we have like the three of us. We are from different religions and beliefs. So yeah, it's like very diverse in that sense. And then of course those 1,000 members, we've been able to reach out to over 25,000 young people worldwide. And yeah, and that 25,000 is like either some of them are the same, follow the same beliefs as us, or like some of us, or like different beliefs. So yeah, we've seen a lot of diversity. And since we work on sustainability and peace and protecting our planet, it's like it just brings us together, because ultimately every single belief preaches peace and prosperity. So that's what we want to work towards.
And if I can just add,
Yeah.
I think that for us, like we bonded, our friendship began over talking about peace and like environmental justice and things like that. And like, I think even our like diversity among our, even just the Toronto group that I worked with last year made us stronger. We all came with these really different ideas, and we were all bonded by the idea of peace. And so the combination of being really focused on the same goal, but being from completely different backgrounds, it just, the flow just worked really well. Like we all worked really well with each other, and I think it made us a stronger group.
And
Mhm.
Lorraine, exactly what you say is what is behind URI. So the idea that the membership, until now, the strong membership of URI, the heart of URI are cooperation circles. And there's a requirement that it is at least 7 members of at least 3 different religions. Resides in the idea that religions, spiritual expressions, or indigenous traditions, but this is a dual strategy. As you say, Lorraine, when people of diverse traditions, spiritual expressions, and indigenous traditions work with a same and a shared focus, they can impact the environment or the children, but also there's a relationship thing that impacts peace building. Because with, I don't know, with my friends doing URI work here in Argentina, the relationship after being in so many projects together, it's a strong friendship. It's a relationship that goes beyond diversity of ages or diversities of religion or even of economic situation or where we live, as you show, because this one is the interfaith component and the other one is the work that we do together. So this purpose is very strong in creating the bond between people of diverse people, because we are all different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the things that you've talked about it, but I'd like to hear a little more about your interfaith bridge building. Why do you think that that's necessary at this time, either in the work that you're doing, but certainly you're looking at it from a global perspective? What drives your passion towards that in the work that you're doing?
I think like a lot of the work that we do is in marginalized communities, and a lot of those communities are in areas that society doesn't deem as mainstream or war-torn areas, and a lot of that is due to difference in belief, difference in religion, and the people who are affected the most are the children. But when you look at them, you see that they love one another regardless of what religion or belief that the other one comes from. And I think like in a world where we have so much turmoil, and a lot of it is due to just because of difference in belief and refusal to accept that someone might be different, but you're ultimately working towards a common goal. I think it's really important for us as well as for everyone to consider the interfaith aspect. We've seen it personally. We went to the Sundarbans, so the largest mangrove forest in the world, and we saw in the villages over there that they believe, like they're from 3 different religions, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity, and they believe in only one goddess of the forest, because they say that when the tiger attacks them, the tiger does not discriminate if they're like what religion or belief they are. They're going to attack them regardless. So and that's how they are united in that one, and they practice their own beliefs, but then when they got into the forest, it's like the tiger's not going to care. So we've seen that, and that is an example that we actually give to other places that we go, and we talk about interfaith and working together and being united in diversity. So
Yeah. Well, what are your hopes and plans for the future? I mean, as you think about where you are now, where you've come from, where do you see yourself down the road? What is it that you really, really want to affect in the work and the gifts that you bring to our global youth?
I think as Green Hope, our main goal is to make sure that every single person adopts sustainable living as a way of life. And that sustainability includes environmental sustainability, being at peace with oneself, as well as the planet, economic sustainability. But I think like we do that through the children of the world and the people who are living in marginalized communities, and our goal is to be there in as many countries of the world as possible. So we are slowly expanding, but at the same time we also want to work with other like-minded organizations and come to and use that to try to create this sustainable world and see how we can all share best practices and focus on areas that we are strongest in.
I know we also had a conversation about the difference between knowledge and caring about something. In our environmental class, we talked about how we can, like, a strategy to reach sustainability is to teach children to love the environment. If we love it and we care about it, we're much more likely to actually do something, because right now we do have a lot of knowledge about the state of the environment, but that doesn't necessarily make us act. And so I think one of the strategies our professor spoke about is that if we can get people, specifically children, to love the environment, they will grow up to protect it. And so I think that this group has tried to do that, specifically targeting children and trying to get them involved, and specifically trying to get them to be knowledgeable. Of course, you need knowledge about it, but to really love it and find connection to it, with the hopes that that will lead to an adult that acts and cares about the environment in the same way.
Yeah, totally. And we've seen it with all the children, with being how uninhibited they are in their eagerness to learn, the love that the unconditional love that they have, that, as they grow older. And I think I've seen it with myself. I'm more inhibited now than I was when I was like 8, but the unconditional love that they have for each other, for the planet, and they want to do something more. But if you restrict that at a young age, then that's really no point. The children grow up thinking in this certain way. But promoting the concept of love and peace for oneself and for the planet, that is like the main thing of sustainability. That's how you lead a sustainable lifestyle. So and that's what we try to do, that even children who are living in situations like in the middle of a war zone, they still have that urge to learn and the urge to love more. So and we try to promote that and use like music, art, dance, drama, things that they can have fun with to get out of their shells and express themselves to their maximum ability.
And they grow what you feed, right? So if you feed love and connection, and if they can learn to hate, they are created to love. So it is even easier to learn to love and to take care of nature, etc. So it is so they are so, as sponges, so ready to learn and ready to live, as you say, not only in the knowledge but also in the experience, because they are so experiential. So that's so nice. And what you were saying, Keshkan, about there is a cooperation circle that is called Blood Life, and they say the same that you say of the tiger. This cooperation circle has collects blood for situations of disaster where blood is needed.
Yeah.
They say exactly what you say about the tiger. When blood is red, this blood is the same blood for everyone. It doesn't, you don't have a small thing that says Muslim blood or Hindu blood. It is blood, and that is what you need. So I think that is a testimony in a completely different scenario, but I think that speaks to the same that you are saying, is when the need is there, when the environment has to be taken care of, when you need food, it is for all. It is not for one. And you know, there are some other cooperation circles doing similar work that you are doing. So I, at this moment, comes to my mind work that is done in North India and Afghanistan, working with slum children, East India or North India. Very, very young men and women going directly to those in need, specifically in the slums or Dalits. Just finding the same findings that you have already had, and say, well, I imagine your cooperation circle and their cooperation circle working together, inspiring each other, sharing best practices, as you say, which might be wonderful for everyone.
Yeah, totally. And we're always looking that, and that's why we love URI so much, because you have so much diversity, and it's like towards this common goal of peace and sustainability. And I think that's really cool, and that resonates so much with us, and that's why we want to work with you guys.
Wow, so much of what you said has touched on so many of the questions in our appreciative inquiry process. Let's see, I'm thinking that how do you feel or imagine your work being affected by or impacted by being a part of URI and as a force for good in the world? How do you think we can increase that capacity by coming together?
I think, first of all, we learned so much more because you've been doing this for a long time. And I think that we learn from that experience and that worldliness that's there, I think, for every single person who's like involved with URI. So that's the first thing. I think we'll also be able to, like Maria was saying earlier, that, you know, sharing best practices and working together in different areas and with other people who have a reach in certain areas, and then we have reach in other areas, and like combining that to have a greater impact. I think that's going to be really great. And then just going from there and seeing how we as groups can work together in the future and see where our strengths lie, and just harnessing that. So yeah, learning and sharing that knowledge, and also bringing what we have seen to the table, and saying that, you know, this is our knowledge, and then seeing what the others have brought to the table as well, and then sharing, adapting that to the different areas that we work in.
Great. Maria, did you want to ask another question?
Sometimes we say, so this is a give and take. I understand what you say, that what you can get from URI, but there's a lot that you bring to URI, and I want to really underline, and you are going to tell me other things that you think that you bring to URI. URI wants to be and tries to be an organization where youth is at the center. Youth is in leadership. So it is not that, at least what I felt in Accelerate Peace was that there were these panels. You were in the panel with Bishop Swing, and you were there at the same exactly level. It was not difference in age or in leadership in a certain church that put the bishop in a different place than you. URI wants to be very fair and very just to have people sitting in a round, in a horizontal way. And I think that the beauty of your youth, that is not the future, but it is the present. It is not the leadership of the future, as many say, but it is the present of your contribution as young leaders, capable, knowledgeable, is so important. So I think that is one thing. And I said, when I see you, these three wonderful women, I say, wow, this is so much that they bring. My question would be, what would be other things that you feel that you are bringing to the table?
I think our experience at the ground level over all these years, I mean, Green Hope turns 7 this August on International Youth Day. So like what we have seen growing up, the experience of all of our members all around the world, that is what we would bring to the table. And our experience with children, well, at that time we were children working with other children and seeing how that connection was built. That is a very big thing that I think we bring to the table. I think our acceptance of intergenerational solidarity, that's like, because we never say that, you know, like, of course, I completely agree that we are the present as well, not just the future, but then it's a two-way street, the learning process. So and that acceptance is something that we've seen in our work, and that has helped us a lot. So that is another thing that we bring. And just in general, the views of the children in areas that you wouldn't hear, but I'm sure the other organizations working with URI also bring that. And I think, like I said before, getting all of that together is something that's going to make a much bigger impact than just one organization. But I think our specialty is that it's an organization that's run by young people for young people, and just trying to get, and that connection and that understanding, I guess, right at this generation and at this juncture is something that we definitely can bring to the table.
Yeah, because that is your voice and the voice of children, which is because you gather, and it is not that you hear, you are with the children, you work with the children, so it is also bringing the voice of children to the concerns.
Absolutely.
Because of course there are very many things that were said in Accelerate Peace and that we see in the sustainability when we speak about 4 cities in India that are not going to have water in 3 years. Well, these children, so how are we going to build that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you mentioned that, you know, I was on a panel, but because of the work that I'd done, not because of like my age or like other affiliations. It was just, we were just there, like it, just like another speaker. So yeah, I think that's really great, and that's what we want to promote as well, that we are doing the work. Our focus, of course, is on young people, but it should not just be like it's a youth organization. It's an organization that works to help people as much as possible, and we have had a significant impact on the people that we've targeted, so like the children. So yeah.
Yeah, and Anushka and Marina, I don't know if you saw that, but we were all after Kashan, our mouths were just so amazed with what she was sharing, how she was sharing. We were kind of blown by her speech. So that was...
Yeah, that kind of happens like every time she's on the stage. Like even I'm blown away by what she was.
You know, it's as though our future is crashing in on us. And so all of us are equal stakeholders right now as we try to establish reestablish a relationship with the earth and each other that is based on the values of love and compassion. And so I think we're all standing on equal ground, and we're working to find what are the solutions that can cross our faiths, all the things that we believe. How does that come together to address mammoth issues that are facing us at this time. So we're all in it together. We're all stakeholders in in our future. And as I said, it's coming at us really, really fast. And what you've learned, what you have to share is so important for us. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge that as well. And thank you for that. Thank you for the work that you do with Green Hope, Lauren and Kehkashan and Anushka. I am very proud to be sitting here in this process with you and to learn from you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think the diversity in URI really resonates with us as well. And like another thing I'd just like to add is that another thing we do bring to the table is the amount, like we work in so many different countries, and the voices of the children there, we like the different voices, but at the same time the same kind of, or the enthusiasm and the love that they have. I think that's something that we definitely bring to the table as well, whether it's in South America or in the Middle East or even in Australia. So yeah, I think that's something else that we do bring in. But yeah, it's a huge honor for us to be like in the same vicinity as you guys, and we are very, very excited to work with you.
Great. Let me ask you a question. What ideas and questions came up for your group as you started to contemplate being a part of URI and reading the rights and responsibilities of the members? Were there any issues or concerns that came up for you as a group?
Lauren or Anushka, do you want
to? Nothing like major for me. I think I'm still kind of trying to feel connected to the group despite being far away, but I know that is very central to what's happening here, right? We're all over the place. And so I know that that's part of it. So I think for me, the only thing is I'm just trying to kind of figure out how to stay connected to not just Green Hope, but to feel connected to the group and to feel supported. And how can I support from a distance? I think that would be my main thing that I need to kind of figure out how we're going to do that.
Okay. Well, get used to Zoom.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah.
Anushka,
anyone else want to
add? Yeah.
No, I think I kind of share Lauren's ideas. I'm still trying to like figure out this thing. So yeah, that's kind of it. Like apart from that, like nothing else, nothing that comes to mind.
Yeah, and one thing that we have to get accustomed to is that in URI are the cooperation circles, and specifically the people that are doing the work at a local level. So it is not trying to be connected to URI, thinking in the central office in San Francisco, but being connected to the work that you are doing is being connected to URI. So it is not something different and outside. So the idea of partnership in URI or the membership in URI is that we are all URI, and we usually have fun about URI, I am you, in this idea that URI is we, all members. So the work that you are doing in India or somewhere else with the children and playing, that's URI. And and the conversations you can have with a companion at school, so this is URI. So it is not outside. It is funny, but it's as a family. Wherever you are family. And what we try with URI is that we feel that Green Hope Foundation is an entity, and it is unique, and it is itself, but at the same, as a child, is unique, but is part of a family. Mm-hmm. So the membership of URI is in that community way, is just, we are individuals, we have our identity, we have our purpose, our work, our leadership, our funds, our programs, our ideas, and at the same time we are part of something that is global, that is larger, and that we feel that being larger is something that is enriching our identity without losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y- one of the things that really grows our network and keeps people engaged are our stories. We all have stories from the work that we do, although we may work in very different settings, what have you. There tend to be the stories that sort of like the power behind us all, because that's how we stay connected. That's how we even learn about each other and engage with each other. So one of the questions I have is, do you foresee yourselves communicating your stories through the URI network so that those stories can be shared on our website and at various activities?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like we are always looking to share our stories, learn from the stories that are shared by others. So absolutely.
Okay, great, great, great. Yeah.
Great. One of the things that is going to happen is, as soon as this application goes through the CC approval process, and this is August the 14th, the CC approval committee meets and reviews all the applications, and it's nice. I am always there in this. So we read the application and the responses to this, the recording in this case of the session and the recommendation, and then we pray that we say something like, may members of this cooperation circle fulfill their aspirations and live in peace. May peace prevail in the country where the CC, or in multi-region in this case. And then we create, when I say we, it is, we create a CC page in the website, in URI page, our website. So Green Hope Foundation will have a page that you will be able to send to me information if you want to, just to send photographs or tell stories, or create, so that that space or that platform, you have others and they are so good, but also this platform will help for you to have visibility in a different platform. So the more that you send stories or pictures or even short, this will come out there.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds really great, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay, I
Another
think
question.
that, wow.
Thank you, Audrey.
Was there a question?
Yes, I wanted to know, I don't know how you could share the preamble, purpose, and principles of URI. This is kind of the core values in URI. I don't know if you were able to read those and how they impressed you, and how do you feel that you are able. It shows that the work that you're doing already is in coherence with the preamble, purpose, and principles, but anything that you felt when you read them that you want to share?
From I think the first thing is the fact that in your vision and mission, it's just written that it's a global grassroots organization, that like it's a network, and I think that's something that we really like. That's basically what Green Hope is. It works at the grassroots level, and that's what we want to promote. So that's something, and it's and in your vision, it's written that it's about interconnected and integrated communities, and that's what we want as well. So, and like pretty much everything that's written in your preamble, purpose, and principles, that's what Green Hope aspires to do. It's about diversity and about accepting differences. I think that's something that's just an inherent part of Green Hope. So yeah, I think that really resonates with us, and and that's why we really want to work more with URI.
Any other thing, Lorene or Anushka, about
Well, I
what
think
you learned about URI? Yep.
what resonates with me is when I was voicing my concerns about feeling disconnected, and you said that we're all doing this work and that's what connects us. And I think that really resonated with me. The idea that we all have the power to make Like we can choose. We have the choice. We're all part of this. And I think, yeah, the idea that it's grassroots, like that we are on the ground making a difference, doing what we can, is something that resonates with me and I think is really powerful. And so I like the idea of being connected through action. So all of us coming to, like, our commonality is that we're all doing this. And there doesn't have to be necessarily any other things that are connecting us other than the fact that we're all striving for this goal. And I think that that's really important.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you, Corinne. Anything that you want to add,
Yeah.
Anushka?
I'm just gonna go with them, like whatever they're saying, because like what they're talking about, diversity and all. I think that's really important. It's also what Green Hope is all about. Like and the fact that it's by young people and for young people resonates a lot. And the fact that Kehkashan herself and like all of us are like we're really young, like we're still teenagers. And the fact that we have like the way we communicate with young people is very different than how elders communicate with younger people. Even that is something that we can bring to the table. How diversity and sharing our thoughts and ideas and with your ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that it's going to be a little bit more difficult, this connection, at this time that we don't yet have a regional coordinator, but we hope that we have that soon. There was a search, 86 applications for that
application.
applications to cover that position that have the search committee is going to go through and then reduce the number and then get to finally appoint a person to that job. So for now, as soon as Green Hope Foundation is approved, your connection could be with any of the trustees, with me, of course, as a person, and we have to keep the flame burning until we do have a.
Oh yes.
This is going to be more close to you, but we will try to do our best in the situation that the position is vacant now.
And we do have in the multi-region, we have a dynamic leadership team with a group we call the Baraza, who are primarily young people, well, much younger than me, that's for sure, around the world, who are so committed to the work that we're doing, that they're doing an outstanding job to continue to support and promote the work that we're doing and engage more and more people. So it's a very, I think it's for me, it's sort of a very fertile ground for dynamic engagement and on so many levels. You know, when I think about the preamble, we are people of diverse religions and spiritual expressions and indigenous traditions throughout the world. That's really who we are in multi-region. We're it. We're the big it, the big global mesh. And so expect a lot of interesting programs coming up in the next year or so that I think you would be in a tremendous asset. And because of what you bring, I mean, your heart, your hearts alone. So I'm looking forward to this process going forward. And I'm really excited to have, to have this consideration. Thank you, Maria, for all the hard work that you did.
Yeah, the only thing that I want just to address before leaving is, there are some, and I know that this is not the case because you were immersed in URI, all this accelerate piece, and you know well. So sometimes when people join URI, are expecting that URI can support economically the project, and this is usually not the case. So URI provides a network, provides training. Probably there will be regional assemblies or opportunities to be together. But so just to leave that clear, because we don't want to fail your aspirations of the people who become members. So there are some regions that have seed grants or something, but it is not the way that URI works, and there are foundations that doing excellent work in providing funds for projects. but this is not what URI is providing. So I don't know if that is clear, and I imagine that it is, but just wanted to bring it kind of openly.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us. And yeah, it's absolutely clear.
Excellent. So dear friends, I think if you have any question, of course, for Audrey or for me, we are open to respond before leaving.
I think you covered it. Yeah, that was great.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you cannot imagine how excited I am and how proud I feel about you, what you have shared
Yes.
already. So I look forward to a very deep and win-win partnership.
Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
very excited too. Yeah.
Okay.
And congrats for what you are doing already and what you plan to do as part of URI.
Thank you.
Well, have a
Okay.
nice weekend. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you too.
Enjoy yourself. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
So we will come.
Thank you.
So this, just to know the procedure. So CC approval committee meets on August the 14th. Review
Okay.
the application as soon as. So there are some. Usually it's not. URI is an inclusive organization, so of course all organizations that are in coherence with the PPPs, with their preamble, purpose, and principles, and are doing such good work are approved. Sometimes there are applications that are tabled because diversity is not met, or it is not clear how the intentions of the group. I think it is from URI being able to say, well, let us stop this when we are not clear about something. But after the CC approval, so we communicate with the applicants and tell them what is the status. So plan to hear from us about 15th, 17th, 16th, before the end of August, telling you what to do and how to follow. And in fact, everything is going to, the CC page is going to be created, you will be added to the listserv, etc. But I will let you know at that moment because we don't have a regional coordinator.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And we will celebrate together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. We will.
Take care, friends. Be well.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.